Sometimes, for every $1 a man makes doing a job, a woman might only get 70 cents doing the same thing. That's not fair. We got to fight to make it fair. Because a woman, she's only useless 1 week out of the month. That's 25% of the time. She should get 75 cents on every dollar. We have to fight for her nickel. Agreed. Anyone booing, I agree with. It's a terrible thing to say. I'm only kidding. I think women should get the same money as men, but I also wish you could stand up on stage next to me and watch me tell that joke to an audience. Because there are some pissed off looks on the women's faces. And I'm never sure if they're whole pissed off because the wage gap thing or just because there's too much math in what I'm saying and they can't understand me. But either way, I nailed it. I did it. Everybody's mad. That is full anger. If you had something, you would just throw it at me right now. But you probably missed because you're a girl. And now it's the end. That joke had a false bottom. But it is over now. That's all of it.
That man kept on going. He doubled down. And then he doubled down again. This is a well-executed joke.
Listen, I ain't lying. Everywhere I was going, it's like God was talking to me. They were saying, wait on your bow ass. If you single, wait on your bow ass. You ask a girl, hey, what you doing? Waiting on my bow ass. I heard it so much, I was like, man, this can't be right. So, I went, read the book of Ruth. And I was right. It was wrong. Yeah, I read the book of Ruth, and nowhere in Ruth did she wait on Boaz. I know some of y'all ain't gonna believe me, but just go read it later, on your downtime, whenever that is. Ruth now wait on Boaz. Matter of fact, while you waiting on Boaz, you running into broke.
I want you to delete all the women on your page. What kind of gross, nasty, disgusting man just likes a bunch of girls' photos? I don't know. Maybe the same type of person that gets up in front of the stage, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, and does stuff like this.
I don't want to ask ChatGPT. I want to ask you guys directly. Where are the rare breed of single Christian men of God? Where do we find you guys? I haven't come across you guys in a long time. Where'd you go?
Church, work, school, grocery store, gas station, gym, almost quite literally anywhere that you can find. Some dudes love to golf, some dudes love to paint, some dudes love to hunt. Literally anywhere that you can think of that people might be, except maybe a nail salon or something like that. That's probably where they're going to be at.
He never does thoughtful things for me. Okay, when was the last time that he came home to you wearing nothing but heels and a plug? I guarantee if you did that every once in a while, he would punch himself in the sack if you asked him to.
Heels and a plug is crazy work.
If there's one big thing that I wish I had known in my 20s and 30s before I became a matchmaker and learned the truth about men, it is this. Hang on. They will date you. They will ask you out. They will go through the motions that make it seem like they're genuinely interested, even when they're not. They'll sleep with you. They'll pursue you. And they have other reasons beyond being authentically interested in you as a person. Okay? So there's just a lot of men out there that, sadly, and there's great guys out there too, don't get me wrong. I know a ton of great guys, but we're talking about the guys I want you to watch out for, ladies, which are those guys that will waste your time, take advantage of a situation because they can. And a lot of ladies buy into it. They like the attention, so they lap it up. And these guys know you are the woman that would lap it up, so they do it. All right? I need you to raise your standards, ladies. Pre-qualify better and let them show you who they are.
They can't pre-qualify better because they don't know what question to ask. They're not really asking any questions at all. None that are important. I mean, they might ask about your credit score, about how much money you make, but they're not really concerned about who you are as a person. So you can be sitting there almost darn near about to choke slam them. They wouldn't know that because they're not really worried about that. They're just worried about, are you able to send me to Cancun for a couple of weeks?
If women start out and they're, yes, making the dinner and taking care of the kid, doing the feminine roles that they should be doing, that their biology wants them to do. We talked about the hormones and what happens to women's hormones and men's hormones when you do the stay-at-home roles, and women's thrive and men's do not. This is biology. You can't F with biology. When they're making the dinner and taking care of this, then suddenly they decide they want to be the career woman and all of that. That's a decision they make. And what happens? Honey, those women oftentimes don't take care of the kids anymore. You can take that off. They don't. They make money and that kid goes to daycare. That kid gets a nanny. That kid gets an au pair who lives in the house at a discounted rate and gets room and board and is mommy all day long. So stop playing victim. You relinquish the role of mom and you become a second dad.
Referring to that woman as a second dad is crazy work.
I would like to apologize to all men. A minute is indeed a very long time. Whew.
On today's episode of The Most Embarrassing Thing That's Ever Happened to Me, I called him by the wrong name during adult fun time. The wrong name. You're asking me how I got out of that? I didn't. You can't get out of that. There's no getting past that. And to this day, it still haunts me, and it's been 5 years.
Miss Lori said, I did the same. We have been married for 34 years. He forgave me. Okay.
I'm 31. I've been married for, almost 9 years now. We've got a 7-year-old, and I'm really embarrassed about this, but I don't know who else to talk to. So last Saturday, my son had a soccer game. Some bigger kids started shoving him around, calling him names and stuff. I froze. My husband was on his phone and he just didn't look up, but our next door neighbor, he was already on his feet. He jogged over, talked to the coach, talked to the kid, and the bullying stopped. And after that, I was so angry I could taste it. Angry at my husband, grateful to neighbor. And I noticed neighbor later that afternoon mowing his lawn. And I actually went inside and I pleasured myself in the bathroom. I feel awful just saying it. And now I'm questioning, am I emotionally cheating already? I can't turn the thoughts off. Sometimes I pray, sometimes I cry. It's a mess. I feel confused and don't know what to do.
A dude in the comments, Dog Trainer, said, your husband was present. If his son was in danger, he would have done something. If his coach thought your son was in danger, he too would have done something. Both, coach and your hubby, were teaching your son a valuable life lesson. That neighbor knows what he is doing to get your attention. You think he is randomly mowing his lawn. You better not mess up your life. Also, stop going to soccer games, madam. And you just allowed that neighbor to mess something up. Possibly mess something up there because you're playing games. And not only that, you called in to let people know that you were out here playing games too. And I went in there and I pleasured myself. Is that cheating? I think that is, honestly. But that's just me.
Men sacrifice their happiness for the betterment of those in their care, yet women will sacrifice those around them for their own personal happiness.
Okay, this is to settle a long-standing debate. If a boy likes your Instagram story, does it mean he's secretly in love with you? Yes or no?
No. Debate concluded.
I want to know what a boy's notes app looks like. I know what the girlies are putting in there. I've seen it firsthand. I do it. My notes app is crazy. It's all over the place. But I want to know, what does a boy's notes app look like? What are they writing in there? I'm honestly a little bit scared to see, but I'm actually so curious.
The answer to this kind of depends on the man and what he does for work. For most men, there's a lot of measurements that he can't remember what he measured. But in general, passwords and maybe a grocery list, a movie rating list, Minecraft coordinates. If he's a blue-collar man, it's specs, serial numbers, measurements, parts numbers, and model numbers. If he's a finance guy, it's business ideas, travel spots, budgeting, quotes. And then depending on his hobbies, a car list or a project list. For a lot of guys, it serves as a graveyard for unwritten letters, almost texts, and late-night honesty. And then there's some men, I know this because I married one, that has nothing written down, nothing in notes. It's unused because everything's up here.
My favorite part about dating is when you go on a first date and it goes really well. So you go on a second date and that goes really well. And then you go on a third date, which goes really well. And then you find out that they're looking for something long term, which makes you like them more. So then you go on a fourth date and it goes really well. But then you find out that they want to be single for longer and then you just never talk again.
This is the result of telling every woman not to settle. It's an idea that sounds empowering, but is actually a trap. Women are so obsessed with not settling that they're not choosing anything. The whole don't settle mantra has turned into a permanent state of hesitation. And this is why women in their 30s are now having children more than women in their 20s, which is causing birth rates to plummet. Women have been sold a lie, and they're never going to find love if they're constantly waiting for the next best option. The longer you chase perfect, the longer you end up alone. Cognac, espresso martini. So good.
What I'm struggling with today is feeling like I'm doing everything right. I'm being celibate or abstinent, whatever you want to call it. Focusing on my goals, everything. But it still does not take away from the longing. I don't know why, but lately I've just been feeling like I feel touch deprived. I feel touch deprived, like that, like physical human contact with somebody. That's hard. And it's the whole thought, oh, maybe I should get on a dating app. No, I don't want to get on a dating app. Haven't been on a dating app in 7 months. I want to get on a dating app. I have felt this feeling before in the last 7 months, and I felt it before the year before that when I was celibate, abstinence. But it still doesn't, it sucks. It just sucks to sit in that feeling, and I know it will pass and tomorrow will be better. It's not that kind of connection that you're craving. It's a different, because that's what people say, oh, it's that connection. It's not the physical touch, it's the no, it is the physical touch. It is connection with somebody in that way. There's a longing for that. And that is a connection that can only be filled through like an intimate relationship.
And this is exactly what men be talking about, but men get made fun of when they just say, I'm just looking for a hug. I'm just looking for somebody. I don't even really want the intercourse part of it like that. I mean, we can work on that a little bit later, like assuming we're a good fit. But, you know, I need a little bit more of a social life. I need a little, and then they get shamed for being DL if, you know, friends hug friends. Hey, bro, what's going on, man? Appreciate that, doc. That works. Or if you're hugging a female and she's a friend, oh, you don't touch her like that. Oh, you like her too much. Get off her. It's so much stuff that men go through, and that when they share it, they're going through some of the exact same things that you guys are going through. But a lot of times they're getting shamed for wanting to be that.
Who pays for the bill on the first date?
A man. If I have to pay for a date, I'm not going on that date.
What about if you asked me?
It's not about equality. A man was built to provide.
So you're saying a man was built to pay the first date every time?
Provide. Provide means safety, food, shelter, and all that for a family.
Aren't there a lot of women, though, looking to abuse that?
There are a lot of toxic women like that.
Because surely a good qualifier for a gold digger is to see how she responds to when the bill comes out.
So you're telling me, what if a man is testing me?
You're putting me through the test.
I'm having an honest conversation. It's not a test.
Okay, so then in that case, we'd need to have an honest conversation about the bill. Would you expect me to pay the bill every single time we went out?
Not every single time.
But we're on an equal level of success, but now you want me to pay for...
Would you
all
want
the
your
dinners.
daughter to pay for her date's dinner?
I mean, she's 10.
Would you allow a woman to pay on a first date?
I would not want someone to come to me for my money.
No.
Only, and I've had that quite a lot, and I'm married. I need that not to be in my life.
Have the right conversation.
Well, that's what I'm just saying.
It's okay. You're a man. You want to test, right?
Well, you've been testing me the whole time.
I have been having an honest conversation. But if you think it's right to test me in this way, then I will go to the club and I'm going to grind on every man in the club to see if you're jealous or not. Is that okay?
That is not the same.
No one should test anyone.
But you expect me to pay for it.
This is our first date.
So I should pay for the first date. Okay, who pays for the second date?
He pays.
And then the third date?
I would pay. Because there wouldn't be a third date unless he's awesome.
I think that's what's catching men, is that right there. I would pay for the third date, because if there is a third date, that means he's pretty awesome. So a man has at that point sunken $300 into the date a lot of times. $300 just for maybe, and then you have to do it over and over again. And then you're saying, oh, just date multiple people. Okay, let's say, well, the dates don't have to be expensive. So then you say, I sink in relatively, if you're going to date, $75, right? And then you sink in another $75. With two people that you're dating on and off, that's still going to be $300, right? If you're dating, and you're probably going to want to hang out every week. So it's, let's say $50 every week. 50 times 4 is what? 200 times 2, that's 400. So you're still creeping up around $200 to $400 just to get a maybe. There's not going to be a lot of men that really want to take that chance anymore.
Nobody can convince me being single is fun unless you're a hoe. Like, if you're out here hoeing, yeah, you're having a blast. But if you're single and alone, that is miserable. I don't care what nobody says. I'm losing my mind, okay? Because the older you get to, the less options you have. Like, the less people you find attractive, because you're no longer just dating for looks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want them to have some substance to them, you know? But for me personally, like, I really just miss the intimacy part, okay? Because, listen, I'm still young. The hormones are hormoning. But I'm not going to just pick anybody. Like, I refuse, but I know the longer I'm going without, the crazier I'm becoming. And it's harder for me to suppress the crazy. Like, it's getting hard, okay? I feel like that's why they be like, oh, you know, she ain't had none in a minute because her attitude. Yeah, the attitude is attituding. And that's not me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not myself when I don't got a stinker. Okay? I don't know how y'all do this for a long time. Like, this ain't for the week, okay?
Carlos said, I'm not miserable. I have peace, and that's priceless. Another dude said, it's peaceful if you have money, you'll keep yourself busy. Big R. Another dude said, single, be cool until 10 p.m. hit.
Hi, good morning. So I got a heck of a response from you guys yesterday after I posted a video saying that a lot of men that come to therapy ask for brutal honesty from me. And just to clarify, that's honesty that is lacking tact and sensitivity. And I got, I don't know, there's thousands of comments, which I think is great. I wanted to create a conversation about it. And thank you to people who are being respectful and actually answering the question and not being rude. But this video is not for that. This video is for another question, because I got hundreds of comments from men stating that the women in their lives lie to them, so that when they come to therapy, they don't want to be lied to anymore. They don't want sugarcoating. They don't want beating around the bush. They don't want nuance. They want direct honesty. They want it to be clear and concise and brutal if it needs to be. And that's refreshing to them, and that wouldn't hurt their feelings. And after reading all of your comments, I completely understand this perspective and why you'd want this. But my question is, Why do you feel like the women in your life lie to you? I am genuinely curious. It's not that I don't have my own opinions on it, but in your own life, in your perspective, if you're willing to share, why do you feel like women lie? What do you think the purpose is of that? And there's hundreds of you who believe this in my comments, so I want to hear what you have to say.
They beat around the bush. They say a lot of things passively. They try to drop hints. They try to lead you in the direction of the answer instead of just coming out and telling you. You want a man to make a decision. You want a man to be the leader. How many times have you gotten on the job and the man has just sat there, or your boss has just sat there and let you tell him a sob story? Maybe once or twice they're going to be okay with it, or every so often when you're having a bad day, they're going to be okay with it. But most of the time they have stuff to do, so they're going to need you to get to the point. A lot of women today just around and round and round in circles instead of just saying to the man, this is what the problem is. Can you fix it? Or this is what the problem is. This is the solution that I come up with. What do you think? So a man can go ahead and take time to figure out what it is. If you throw in a little bit of a backstory, fine. But a lot of times these ladies want to take up all of your time. Like you don't have anything to do. They want to be their own person. Oh, well, you need to give me my space to go out with the girls and and this and that. Okay, well, as a man, you need to give me space to go out with the boys or stay home and play my game or do whatever I need to do, right? You need to give me my space and my time back just like you want that. Okay, so you need to come to me. Y'all, this is a man's version of a plan. Come to me with a plan. Y'all want a man to plan the dates, go buy flowers, go do this. I don't want to hear nothing about it. Just tell me when and where to be, what to do. And then a man, when he says, okay, I don't know what to do. I don't know how you want it. Just tell me where to be and how to do it.
Oh, I'm not going to babysit nobody. I just want to have a man that's competent.
Well, the way I was doing it, you didn't like it. So just let me know where you need me to be and I'll be there. I'll do what you need me to do and I'll be there. Well, we're carrying the domestic load and all of the work and all that. You see how quickly that changes? So all of that communication, all of that passive aggressive, well, I don't know. I don't know that, to a man that's dishonest, that's deceitful. So he's going to say, you're lying. Essentially, you're hiding something. You might be telling parts of the truth or leading to the truth, but you're withholding, which means you're lying. So just come out and tell me so I'll know what to deal with.
I have a hypothesis and I need to run this by you. I come on the internet and I see the majority of stuff that's shown on the algorithm. Okay, remember, algorithm, not necessarily real life, but a lot of women on here just hate men. I mean, like, you think like the feminist side, right? Even misandrist side of TikTok. And I am somebody who's fascinated with human behavior. And so I have to sit here and ask myself, like, how do you end up in that train of thought, right? Some of it, I think, is cultural. Like, feminism is a huge, I would call it more of an ideology than a movement, but nevertheless, like, it's omnipresent, right? And then to the extreme women who say they hate men, I'm assuming you found yourself taking that position because you've been burned by men who mistreated you, maybe abuse, betrayal, like manipulation, deceit, heartbroken, right, over and over again. And to the men's side, I have to assume that men who hate women and think they're all whatever they want to label them are men who've been hurt, ignored, dismissed, or never even had the opportunity to catch the attention of a woman, right? So everybody is just taking out their insecurity or their previous experience and projecting it onto the masses. You see where this can go really, really south? The problem with that fundamentally is that you allowed somebody else the power to change you as a person. Like, when I think about me and the shit I've been through, because trust me, I am not immune to the malevolence of the male species. But one thing I promised myself is I would never allow a man to change me and who I am as a woman. Because the biggest thing is, like, I could go out here and be jaded, cynical, you know, treat men like trash, right? Some women use men for their money or dates or whatever. But, like, who does that make me as a person? I was not comfortable with that. So despite pain, disappointment, frustration, anger, resentment, right, disappointment, lots of hurt, they fumbled that. Like, as far as being somebody who is convicted in your values, shows up, does everything you say you're going to do, supports that man, is there for that man, holds it down, right, pushes him to grow, not controlling, not whatever, just whoever you are. If that man fumbles you, you just got to keep moving on, because he will regret that. And the same, vice versa, men who treat women wonderfully, and she's deceitful, manipulative, betrays you in a way, like, she fumbled that. Like, you just have to keep moving through life being the incredible human being that you are. Most people love optimistic people, but at the same time, every time I open the internet, it's pessimistic people putting everybody in buckets because we don't know how to critically think anymore. Everybody is this. If they have one belief, we assume all of their beliefs. And the most insane thing to me is that we hate people we don't know based on an opinion that they've shared. They're entitled to their opinion. You don't have to agree. No one's asking for you to agree. But it's also like, how do we control this? So people whose opinions you don't like, we just cancel from being able to have a voice. That sounds crazy. So I just have this hypothesis that people who have been burned by something tend to hate the thing they've been burnt by, instead of sitting there and asking themselves, how did I get here? What red flags did I overlook? What bad behavior did I excuse or justify? Where was I being naive? Where did I overlook things? Where did I settle for less than what I wanted because I felt like this was the best that I was going to get? And you can learn from that, and then you can take that with you. But you still can be a wonderful, kick-ass, convicted, confident, loyal, kind, optimistic, patient, graceful human being. Like, don't let men make you so jaded you become a version of you that even you don't like.
I think you have a point, but I think there's also a middle ground there where there's a lot of men that do like women, but they try over and over again to find the right one. But when you seemingly, as another clip said, you go on a date, then you go on another date, and then you're 3, 4, 5 dates into it, and you spent a lot of money and your investment is not being returned. Yeah, at some point in time, you have to look at it and say, okay, I need to try to choose which woman I'm going out with because I don't want to spend my money, which is something that I advocate for. But just because I'm saying, listen, I'm not going to be dealing with these types of women anymore. There's a certain woman that I don't want to be around. A certain woman that I don't want to come in contact with ever again. That's the woman I'm talking about. I don't hate women, and just because I speak against you, or excuse me, your actions, doesn't mean that I hate you. Y'all just don't like it sometimes when a man holds you accountable for the things that you do. Y'all want to hold a man accountable, and y'all want a man to like it, swallow it, take it, whether it be rejection, criticism, no matter how harsh it is, no matter how rude it is. And sometimes if it's out of pocket, sometimes if you hit below the belt, you expect a man to control his emotions and be okay with it. But when a man says, okay, heard, I'll adapt to that. Now, something that I'm having a problem with is, and then they start to explain themselves, but they can't even get their explanation out because you don't want to hear it. So it's only one person improving and the other person just continues doing whatever they were doing. That's not a fair trade.
I really want to talk to the guys today because I hear from a lot of men that they tell me when they're emotional or they're having a talk and they show emotion, they cry, or they are vulnerable, that their partner reacts to that. And they go on to say that women don't like it when men get weak. They feel like being emotional is a weakness. And I want to clear that up because I think it's so important that women understand this and that guys do too. Men are raised in a society where they basically suppress emotion. I think this is a cause for a lot of the violence we see. Guys are never really brought up to talk about their feelings. They're not taught that from their parents, from their mentors. Usually parents will say, don't be a girl, or, stop crying or something when they're very young. And then as they get older and they hang out with their buddies, guys don't like that. Like, they're uncomfortable, especially if it's a guy who's very comfortable being vulnerable with his feelings and being able to cry. There's not a lot of support for men out there who are vulnerable and self-aware and know what they're feeling and want to share it. So they stuff it. They stuff it year after year after year. So when they do get in a relationship and they're close to their partner, perhaps the greatest compliment that guy can give his partner is to be open with his feeling. The problem is when it comes out, he is not in control of it. It's years of stored up sadness, grief, just feeling hurt, bullied, feeling taken advantage of, feeling worthless. And it comes out with such intensity that he doesn't even know how to stop it. And she, or his girlfriend, gets nervous. She gets scared. So rather than him understanding that and her talking about that, he interprets that as, I can't be emotional because when I am, she's uncomfortable. She says something that shuts me down. She doesn't like it when I talk about my true feelings. No, it's not that. It's that she doesn't know how to help you. She's totally out of control, and so are you. So talk about what you're feeling. Start letting it be part of your relationship. Start understanding it so when it does come out, you are still in control of it.
I'm going to try to understand your point of view, but this is making it about the woman again. This is making it about her emotions and how she feels. It's not about you all the time. It literally is not. Well, you have big emotions and I just can't. I'm afraid. I don't know. They're so intense. When a woman comes to you, bawling and boo-hooing and crying her eyes out and just snotting and literally falling all over the floor, guess what a man is expected to do? Cry with you, maybe sometimes hold you. Oh, I totally understand. Run out to the store while you're having a mental breakdown. Hey, mama, can you get over to the house and watch my wife? Hey, Jenny, can you get over there and watch Maria? She's having a bad day. Just sit with her so I can go home, go out and get something to eat. I'm looking for this, and this. And if it can't find nobody, DoorDash. I'm buying all the things that you like. I'm trying to get everything here. I'm trying to plan out a night for you so that you're okay, so that I can get your emotions under control because I have to know how to handle you as a man. But then all of a sudden, when a man has those exact same emotions, I'm too scared. I don't know what to do. And then I tell you, oh, well, you're scaring me, or whatever other nonsense, just to tamp a man's emotions down. And yes, a man would rightly read that as, I wish for once you would, instead of incorrectly trying to control my emotions and handle my emotions, you would listen to what I'm saying and you would think about how would I feel in this situation. He's probably feeling how I feel when I'm in this situation, and that would make me really mad. So that's probably what he's feeling. Babe, I understand what you're feeling. I feel like that sometimes too. I understand what you're saying. So what happened with X, Y, and Z? And let him get those emotions out. It might just be an episode that he's talking about. If he's putting his hands on you or threatening to put his hands on you, whatever, or other types of mishandling, then that's one thing. But what we're discussing right now is a man that has powerful emotions and you don't know how to handle. You don't know how to handle them. And once again, you're making it about you. You're making it about how you feel. And that's why a man will shut down, is because you continue to bring it back around to you and what you want to do. And that's not how it should be.
If you're a man, I need your honest opinion. What would you do if you ask a girl to be your girlfriend, right? And she comes out with this. A celebratory wine that she made before she met you. Would you think it's weird? Would you think it's cute? Would you think she's psycho? Because I completely forgot I had this and now I'm going to show my boyfriend and now I'm actually kind of freaking out about what he's going to think about this. I made this about a year ago. I mean, it kind of shows him that I'm a lover girl, right? Right?
I have noticed a trend with single women, with dating in general, honestly, is that I've noticed that a lot of women these days are seeing or telling me that men don't really add anything to their lives these days, right? Like, obviously someone will always add something to you if it's the right fit, but they're seeing in the dating world that men aren't adding. They're not bringing value to what a woman has to offer. They are not sitting there and helping them do something differently in life. And I think that's the issue on why there's so many single women these days, is because they're looking for an addition. Old negative beliefs that have existed in the dating world is that, you know, people have to go 50-50 or men want to be wine and dined also. And that's not, don't ever fall for that, please. I've been tricked into doing 50 with a man before, and that was the dumbest thing I could have ever done in my life because I got nothing out of it. Because I got absolutely nothing out of it, he benefited from it. He got all of the things that I should have gotten. So please do not waste your time. Learn from all of us. Do not go 50 with a man. I want people to see that there is a huge discrepancy in the dating world. I see men are telling me that there isn't any woman that's adding to their life or making it easier for them. And then for women, they're telling me that there isn't a man that's giving them anything that they're going to ruin their peace over. Like, I asked some of my single friends, like, why don't you get a boyfriend? Why don't you do this? Whatever. They have nothing to offer me. There's no benefit of it. All of my friends are so independent, so on their own, and can provide for themselves, and they have a great life. And so when a man comes in and tries to talk to them, what, you're gonna take me on a date? I'm gonna get some food and some conversation, and then what? Like, what do you have to bring to the table? Women, you are the table. Please, if a man ever asks you what do you have to bring to the table, you are the table. And that's your red flag to piece the fun. But for everyone else, we need to offer something. We need to have something that benefits the other person, because you are supposed to be an addition to my life. When I got with my husband, I said, what is the addition he is bringing to my life? And it was nothing but additions. It was nothing but great, amazing things. And I was like, yeah, for sure. If you are not adding to my life, I don't know what would be the purpose of you being here. You know, like, my 20s was meant for me to dick around and be with losers and be in crappy situations and learn from them. In my 30s, I've learned from them. I've grown out of them. I do not want to be around people who don't add anything to my life, because I am adding to other people's life. I am growing. I am not staying stagnant. I am not still. I am not done. I have so many plans for my life. And when someone is not helping me grow, or they are hindering me or affecting me negatively, I let them go. Because I can't have dead weight around me. I can't have people who don't add or contribute or benefit me in some way, because it's not fair to me. I'm discrediting myself and discounting all of the work I've done to be able to do that. And some people might call that selfish. And I think if you call it selfish, you are living in a very placating world where you are trying to fit into society. And it is what it is. And you can agree with me or not agree with me, but it's not your life to have an opinion on, honestly, because I don't sit there and judge others for their life. And so for you to judge someone else doesn't make any sense to me. Because again, who are you to do that? Who are you to do that? You are no one to anyone to do that. Let everyone live their own life and how they want to.
So Jerome in the comments said something I thought was pretty good. He said, with a lot of single women talking to each other, you're in an echo chamber, and what you think is self-confidence is actually arrogance, because you've been told most of your adult life that you're the prize, you're special, you're a princess, you're a queen, you deserve so much more. So when you actually see a good man that comes to you, you don't actually even try to see his logic and the way that he thinks. What you do instead is you try to challenge him. You try to make it seem like you're actually better than him, and you get into this relationship and then you actually mess it up, right? So men are in relationships to try and show you that they really care. I'm there for duty. I'm there for loyalty. I'm there to let you know that, hey, I'm really here for you. I want to take care of you. I'm going to do what I can. I might not be able to buy you the world or give you everything, but I'm going to work darn hard at it. I'm going to do whatever I can. But if you're talking about, well, 50-50 is an effort, well, you're not working with me. You're not building with me. You're letting me know that you're not loyal. And what man is going to want to wife that or take care of that?
Are men intimidated by powerful women?
No.
Why? Elaborate.
Why would we be? Like, what? I mean, from my perspective, right? What reason would I have to be intimidated by a powerful woman? And if I don't want to deal with what you consider a powerful woman, maybe there are other reasons about that woman specifically than the fact that she has power. Mm-hmm. Because we often think like a person that have a nasty bad attitude, and because they have power, it's, oh, you're intimidated by the power. No, I don't want to deal with your attitude.
So it's more of an attitude
I don't want to.
thing.
Yeah, like I don't want to deal with how nasty you act. You know what I'm saying? And then, and we had a guest come on the show, and she was like, right, because I make more money than you, and you feel like you gotta be the man. And that, first of all, I'm a man regardless of how much money you make. So yeah, I feel like I'm the man. At the end of the day, that's what I am. Your money don't matter, but your attitude, thinking like that and acting like that, like,
counts
oh,
for a
I
lot
make
more.
the most money. Yeah,
Right.
no, I don't want to deal with you. But that's not talked about, thought about, or whatever, because
It's not really attitude, it's ego. That's ego.
But that's whose ego?
The woman's ego.
Right, but we don't talk about the woman's ego. We talk about men have too big of an ego. A lot of
I can beg to differ.
You can, but a lot of that isn't talked about. So when the narrative of we intimidated by powerful women, no, I just don't want to deal with your attitude. Your power don't give you the right to have an attitude, a bad attitude. It don't.